All right, we are officially in Montana now, about 8 minutes away from the west entrance of Yellowstone. Hi there, how you doing today? No, I'm okay, thank you. All right, so I stopped quickly to take a look at my maps. I've got both the National Geographic Trails Illustrated map. I do love these maps of Yellowstone, and I've got the free one that you got when you came in the park. Given that it's my first time here, I've never been to Yellowstone before, and I'm not really on that much of a time crunch, I think I'm gonna take today to see the highlight reel. Make a day of seeing the sights and doing the touristy things. I'm gonna be dispersed camping outside of the park tonight and can come back tomorrow if there's more that I wanna do. If I wanna do a hike, there's a couple that look really awesome. If I wanna do some fly fishing, that might be a ton of fun too. Then I can deal with getting my fishing license and everything tomorrow and spending some time doing that. But I think today, it's gonna be the touristy stuff. Well, the number of tourists in Yellowstone might be reduced because of COVID, but doing the touristy stuff is still full of, you guessed it, tourists. There are long lines to find parking spaces for all of these tourist destinations. A lot of circling parking lots to find a space. A lot of pulling over on the side of the road and hiking a little bit to get to these spots. But they're definitely incredible, and if you're here for the first time, it's all stuff you've got to see. All right, so pro tip if it's your first time to Yellowstone, the map tells you to turn off at the Middle Geyser Basin to see Grand Prismatic Hot Springs, which is cool and all. You can walk out on the boardwalk, see it from ground level, but the real views, the real impact, drive up the road a bit, park at Fairy Falls, take the hike up to the overlook. Man, it's spectacular. Well, it is just past 5 p.m. here, and we are already making our way back north. We brought Grand Loop Road down from the West Yellowstone entrance. We stopped at a couple of the cool features along the way. We saw the painted pots, the paint pots, big bubbling mud baths. Stopped in at Grand Prismatic Hot Spring, did the little hike up to the overlook there, and then made it to Old Faithful, and sat around for Old Faithful to go off, which was almost right on time. Grand Loop Road, though, was actually shut down past Old Faithful, so you weren't allowed to travel any further south because of wildfires in the park. So that meant it became our impromptu turnaround point. The plan now is to, I guess, head up towards, oh, big spider. Die. Well, I don't know if I killed that spider, but it was inside and it was big. Oh man, what a gnarly spider that was. All right, so that became, so with the road closures, Old Faithful became our impromptu turnaround point. The plan now is gonna be exit the park at the West Yellowstone entrance, get into the National Forest, I think maybe north of West Yellowstone, and find some dispersed camping. So, oh no, spider's back. I don't know if I mentioned it, but today is my birthday. And being that it's my birthday, I had to do something to treat myself. It's 6:15. It's time for me to start making tracks to a campsite. I'm still not totally sure what that's gonna look like tonight. So I figured, what the heck, let's grab a bite to eat here in West Yellowstone. And as part of that, I got some huckleberry ice cream. Because you can't come to these parts without getting some huckleberry something or other. It could be a milkshake, it could be a scoop of ice cream. As long as it's got huckleberry in it, you're doing it right. I've also got a carne asada burrito just from right here in town. So, happy birthday to me. I'm gonna chow down on this ice cream first, of course, because it's my birthday and you should always do dessert first. Not just on your birthday, you should always do dessert first. The burrito will save, I can reheat that tomorrow. The ice cream, I'm not gonna be able to save it. So I'm gonna kill that. I'm gonna do some damage on that burrito, and we're gonna find a spot to camp. We'll pick you up once we get there. We are currently climbing up into the Gallatin Mountain Range, I think that's how you say it, in the Custer-Gallatin National Forest, just northwest of Yellowstone, I guess. If you do plan to come to Yellowstone and Dispersed camp outside the park, you're going to have to really make sure you read your maps well. There are a lot of Forest Service roads in this national forest, especially closer to the park, that are day use only. No dispersed camping is allowed. There are also a lot of pockets of private land interspersed with all the public land out here. So pay close attention to the land ownership and to the motor vehicle use map so that you can, make sure you're not gonna get a hefty ticket as part of your trip out here. Well, how about some good news for a change? I guess not for a change. How about some good news? In this area, there's no more fire restrictions. So tonight, we're having our first campfire of this trip. And we can finally say we're really camping. All right, good morning, everyone. I think my plan this morning is gonna be just to get camp packed up and head towards West Yellowstone. Maybe do some more exploring in town. There are a couple cool fly shops that I want to go check out, and then get back in the park. And this time, instead of heading south towards Old Faithful, I'll head up north towards Mammoth Hot Springs and then cross over to the east side of the park to Lamar Valley, and we'll just play it by ear, see what the day holds. All right, well, I spent a little bit too much time playing tourist in the town of West Yellowstone today. I stopped in and picked up a couple of Yellowstone t-shirts because it's my first time here. I'm also officially a licensed fly fisherman for the park. And I got the lowdown at Eric's Fly Shop and Big Sky Anglers on the local fishing report, what's going on in Lamar Valley, what are they biting on, and I picked up some fresh flies to add to my kit. I don't know what I'm doing with this fly fishing stuff, guys, but we're gonna head to Lamar Valley, we're gonna get our feet in the water, and that's gonna make it all worth it. So let's get in the park and get over there. All right, so after a lot of driving this morning, I finally made it over to Slough Creek in the Lamar Valley area on the northeast corner of Yellowstone National Park. My goodness, if you have never been to Yellowstone before, the sheer scale of the place, it's just massive. Getting over here from the west entrance was about 60 miles of driving. Took about hour and a half, 2 hours, because it's slow going in the park. There's a lot to see. We had a couple slowdowns when there were bison on the side of the road and elk in one area as well. I'm actually looking over at bison in the distance. I don't even think they'll show up on the camera. They're probably 300-400 yards away on the other side of Slough Creek, sort of up the mountain here. But because it took so long to get over here, it's lunchtime and I'm hungry, and you know what they say, never fish on an empty stomach. I think they say that. I say that. So I'm gonna whip up a quick lunch here, just grill up some hot dogs real quick. We'll slam those, then we'll get our feet in the water, cast a few flies, see if we can catch something. Now we're talking. We got some cheese, we got some of that Japanese barbecue sauce, and we've got some sriracha on here. What can I say? I didn't bring any ketchup and mustard. That's all right. Well, I've hiked maybe about a quarter of a mile downstream from where I parked. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and proclaim that this is the spot that I wanna try. Taking this incredible view. Even if I don't catch anything, I'm gonna enjoy doing it. Let's get the rod in the water. Well, in what is truly an unfortunate turn of events, as soon as I got down to the river, the camera battery died. So, I'm gonna leave it to your imagination. You can picture all of the insanely large, we're talking 20-inch plus trout that I was pulling out of the water left and right. It was an enjoyable couple of hours. Okay, but don't let your imaginations run too wild. I got a few bites, but mostly just got rejected. I think that fly fishing is a good lesson in rejection and how to deal with it, because these fish just kept coming up and saying, no, actually the fly that you've tied on is not exactly the one that I'm after right now. And, you know, they poked at it, investigated it, and then just left as soon as they showed up. And I would take that as a sign to change my fly, and I would change my fly, and then it would happen again. And you just sometimes cannot figure out exactly what it is they're after. It's fun nonetheless, and it's always thrilling, even when you just get that little poke, that little show of interest. Water was nice and cool. It was great to be standing in there. The views, the wind picked up a little bit. It was coming sort of in spurts. So anyway, nothing caught. A few good bites, mostly rejection. The question now is, where do I go from here? And I don't know yet. I was sitting here looking at Gaia GPS before I turned the camera back on. I could continue on this road up out the northeast gate. Up in that direction is, well, I guess a continuation of the Gallatin National Forest, just around on the other side of Yellowstone. There's a couple of options over there for me to camp that look really enticing. You know what? I think that's the plan. Oh, there's a bison just chilling. So it's just after 5 p.m. here, and we have exited the northeast gate of Yellowstone National Park, drove through and stopped in Silvergate, which is a cute little town. Is it even a town? Village, maybe? Right after that is Cook City, which also has a pretty cute little downtown with a couple of general stores, mercantiles, that sort of thing. Everyone peddling the huckleberry ice cream, so you know, I got myself a huckleberry ice cream sandwich this time. Had to mix it up, didn't just want to get a scoop in a cup. So with that done, I've pulled off on Forest Service Road here. This is the Lulu Pass Trail Road in the Custer-Gallatin National Forest again. We're gonna wind our ways up here a little bit, do some exploring. Not too much though, because, well, it is, yeah, already after 5 p.m. Well, at Forest Service Road, I was on dead ends here. At now, what I'm going to definitively say is an old abandoned mining camp. Here's one of the old abandoned cabins. Here's a creepy outhouse for you. And creepy cabin number 2. Look at the size of that gear. Wow. Holy cow. That'd move some air in your furnace. This is like a little ghost town almost that I stumbled upon. I'd love to find out what they were doing here and when. But for now, I really gotta find a place to camp. Well, I've been climbing this mountain, trying to find a place to camp, and I had to pause and hop out to show you guys just how beautiful Montana is. Holy cow. That is like a postcard. Well, I may be out of luck. I have been driving now for an hour. We're coming up on 7. I thought this trail was real promising. Started dropping down into this valley though, and of course, me being me, I didn't turn around at any point. So I kept following it, and I got to another human. And this older gentleman was working on clearing a tree that had fallen on the trail, and I asked him, you know, is there any options down this way for dispersed camping, some sites I can set up at for the night? And he basically told me no, this whole trail has basically 0 camping options along it, and that I was better off to tuck my tail and run back the way I came. All right, guys, in my futile attempt to find a spot to camp tonight, I've run out of options. I've been exploring this section of the National Forest for the last 2 hours. I'm running out of daylight. It's coming up on 7:45. The mosquitoes in every inch of this place are just out for blood. I think I've already probably fed half of them just getting out of the truck to scout sites even. I ended up on a trail desperately looking for a place to spend the night that was a lot rougher than I wanted it to be. A couple of pretty serious rock gardens to go through. I didn't take any damage, but I'm thankful that the 4Runner is as capable as it is. There were a lot of little gotchas in the middle of the trail looking to just smack my diff every which way. I managed to avoid those. I don't think I took any hits to the underbody. And I still have not found a good place to camp. There's maybe, just like a half dozen spots that I've driven by so far that are all full. I'm sitting here parked right now in what I thought could be a spot. It's kind of level, but there's thousands upon thousands of mosquitoes just swarming the car waiting for me to get out. I'm gonna make my way back down while I still have light. All right, quick little update here. It is 10 o'clock. I made my way down the road and finally found a place to crash for the night. It's not glamorous. I basically pulled off the highway into, I'm pretty sure it's dark. I can't tell. It's a national forest campground on the map, but it's basically just a big, flat, open area with one little street lamp above a vault toilet. So this is where I end it for the night. Good night, everyone.